Namaste everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I've had to move things inside today because it's a little bit windy here on the island, but I've designed a sequence today to help us through this time of lockdown. So what we're going to focus on is areas that tend to get a little bit tight when we feel stressed and anxious, think the hips, and then also an activating and an opening of the whole posterior chain of the body. So think the back side that tends to switch off as we become slightly less active, which some of us may be than we regularly are at the moment. And we're also going to start moving fluidly through movement. So kind of try and burn that stress away a little bit rather than just going into relaxation, which can be quite difficult to switch into. We're going to try and burn through some of those emotions and anxiety and stress and really get moving and in tune with the body. So let's begin finding a comfortable seat. So cross-legged is fine. If you'd like to place a cushion or a block underneath you, please feel free. We're going to take an inhale, reach both the arms up overhead. Exhale, drop the right arm down. Inhale, lift up and stretch. Exhale, bend over to the right side. Couple of breaths here, just starting to stretch the side waist. Then inhale, reach back up. Exhale, left arm down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop over. Really start to open through the side, really hinging sideways, not tipping forward or back. Same again, inhale up. Exhale over, moving a little faster now. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale over the other side. Inhale up. Exhale over. One more each side. Inhale up. Exhale over. And drop down. And back up. Bring the hands down. And then start to hinge forward from the hips and make little circles. You can still keep the cushion or the block there if you used it. And then take an inhale, lift up, lean back to your hands, change your legs over, hinge forward. Inhale, back up, change legs, hinge forward. Inhale up, change legs, hinge forward. Just starting to awaken the hips gently here. And then come back up. We're going to come over to hands and knees, setting up for our cat and cows. So you want to check that your wrists and shoulders are in one line, knees and hips are in another line. Take an inhale, drop the belly, shine the chest forward as you look up. Exhale, press into your palms, spread the shoulder blades, dome the upper back. Inhale, come through, belly drops towards the mat. Open the chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, come through. Exhale, round. Now here's where you get to play a little. If you like, maybe you want to make some intuitive side movements here. As you continue your cat and cows, maybe taking them a little less traditional. I like to call this one the disco cat. Just move in a way that really feels good. Just starting to stretch the vertebrae of the spine and unwind some tension. Get some movement happening. Awesome. Take one more wherever you are. And then bring your big toes together. Take your knees out wide. Drop the hips back. Walk the fingers forward. Extended child's pose. Place your forehead down to the mat and just go for maximum length here from the tips of your fingers to your hips. Each pulling in one different direction. And then inhale, come back up. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. So feet are hip width distance apart, hands are shoulder width distance apart. Feel free to pedal the legs out a few times here. And then we're going to come to some sun salutations in a moment. We're going to come high up on the tippy toes, bend the knees, walk or hop between the hands. Take an inhale, flatten the back, halfway lift. Exhale, bend and fold forward. Bend the knees here considerably for your first one. Inhale, reach all the way up. Lead from your heart open. Exhale, hands to your heart. Sun salutation A. Let's reach up. Inhale. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring hands to shins and get length. Place the hands down, step back into plank. Exhale, drop the knees, lower down to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows in. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, bend the knees, walk or hop between the hands. Inhale as you flatten the back, halfway lift. Exhale, bend and fold forward. Inhale, reach to the sky, lead with your heart. Exhale, hands to prayer. Keep the movement flowing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. No breath to plank position. Then exhale, if you want to lose the knees and come down chaturanga, feel free, only elbow height. Inhale, up dog or cobra, roll those shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Now you probably feel the heart rate start to elevate. See if you can come back into your breath. And then we're going to take the right leg all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, step outside your right hand. And just bounce forward and back a few times, coming up onto the toes and coming back. We're just starting to loosen up the hips here. Let that right knee fall open. And then step back to your plank pose. Body is strong, pressing out through the heels. Take an inhale, lean forward. Exhale, lower down, either all to the floor or halfway for up dog or cobra as you inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breaths here. Slow and steady, one more. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, step outside of your left hand. And then just hinging forward and back on the toes, further back. Opening the hip, keep the spine long, back of the neck long. And then step back, plank position, belly draws in. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, come down to halfway or to the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Breathing here. Then this time, inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhale, step outside your right hand. And then also step your left foot outside your left hand. And then sit the hips down, lead the chest forward, find Malasana, yogi squat. Hands coming together at prayer position. Spine is long. If you're up on your tippy toes, that's okay. Just find a place where you can open the hips with your elbows maybe. Straighten the back. And allow gravity to just sink the hips and really stretch them open here. One more big breath. And take the hands back down, facing dog. We're going to take the right leg up. Inhale. Exhale, step between your hands. Drop the right knee down. Toes can be tucked or untucked. It's up to you. Press firmly into your front foot and your back foot and reach the arms up. Sink the shoulders away from the ears. Lift through the fingertips. Take an inhale here. Your front knee will be over your ankle. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop the front knee past the ankle. So the hips sink towards the floor. Heart reaches up. You can breathe in, lift the heart. Exhale, maybe arch back slightly, little back bend if you choose. Hands can be together or shoulder width apart. Then bring the hands back down, downward facing dog. If you need child's pose at any point in time, you can take that instead of these down dog holds. Up to you. It's always an option there if you need it. Smooth out the breath. And then inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step forward. Drop the right knee. Toes tucked or untucked. Press up into both feet. Front knee is over ankle to begin with. Take another inhale. Then exhale, you may sink the hips, sink the knee past. If you want to take an inhale, lift through your heart. Exhale, lean back, arch. Hands come down, downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal the legs out a couple of times here, get some movement going. Feel free to take child's pose, whatever serves you most right now. And whichever option you've taken, smooth the breath out. Let it flow with effortless ease. And we're going to take the right leg all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, step between your hands. This time we're going to keep the back knee lifted, reach the arms up as you breathe in. Check your front knee and ankle alignment, and if you need to bend the back leg at all, you can bend the knee slightly to align the pelvis. Just try and have the pelvis as neutral as possible, so slightly tilted under rather than tipping back with a big back bend. Try and minimize the curve of the lower back. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, lean forward and start to twist to the right. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Then your palms in together and try and spin them between your chest. Pressing out through the back heel, opening the right shoulder, spinning the left ribs under. 3 big breaths here. Think of all that movement we're creating in the spine. It may not have moved in all these directions for a little while. Starting to knock some of that rust off. 1 more big breath. Then inhale, reach both arms back up, crescent lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. If you'd like to come to child's pose, simply drop the knees, take the hips back, and rest in child's pose. If you're in child's pose, gets ready to move, we're lifting back up to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, reach up, crescent lunge. Front knee over ankle, back heel pressing backwards. Lower back curve is minimal. Inhale here. Exhale, lean forward and twist. Right elbow to left outer knee. Lengthen through your spine, left shoulder rotates open, right ribs twist under. Keep pressing into your feet. And last breath. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, come down, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. If you'd like to come to child's pose, come to child's pose. If you want to stay in down dog, wait there. Smoothing out the breath. Then start to come back up. Find your downward facing dog. Take the right leg up and then step between the hands. And then just lift up and turn your feet so that they're facing the same direction. I'm just going to turn myself around here. So your toes will turn slightly in if you can tuck them, and everyone's distance will be different here. Fingers come to your hips. Take an inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, lift through your heart. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands, if they can, will come down in between the soles of your feet in one line. Elbows bent backwards. Head completely relaxed towards the floor. Don't hold any tension in the neck. You could shake it. As you rest here, start to feel the weight tip more towards your toes than your heels, and feel your muscles hug to your bones. So zip up through your thighs and your calves. And then take an inhale, find a halfway lift here. Then hands come to hips and bend the knees, come all the way back up. And then from here, we're going to step to the front of your mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. You're going to bring the hands again to your hips, same movement. Bring the elbows in together, start to arch back through your heart space. Coming all the way back into a standing camel. Hips can hinge slightly forward. Chest is lifting as you drop backwards. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come back up. Hands clasped behind your back. Exhale, tip forward and fold. Bring the hands interlaced overhead. Deepen the breath here. If you need to soften the knees with a bend, that's okay. Just allow the arms to slide over the head towards the ground to get a nice deep shoulder stretch here. And then release the hands, trace your fingers down the back of your legs to find them in front of your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. And then we're going to simply come down to the floor to kneeling. Then from kneeling pose, you can keep your toes tucked under here. And we're going to just keep the body straight. So keep the back straight first of all. We want to start to switch on the quads and the glutes here, which may have switched off as we've become a little bit more sedentary lately, maybe. We're going to just take a nice deep inhale here. Then as you exhale, lean yourself back, use your quads. So keep the back straight. Inhale, come back up. Really powering through those legs. Exhale, hinge back, core is engaged as well to keep the back straight. Inhale, back up. 2 more times. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. Body is straight. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. Awesome. Now, just rest down onto the heels for a moment. You can untuck the toes here. And just take a little moment, let the legs settle. But we're still going to use those same muscles in the legs for our back bend. So take another breath here. And then come back up onto your knees. Again, fingers around, so the thumb is pointing towards your tailbone and the fingers are around the hips. Inhale, draw the elbows in, lift through your heart. Exhale, start to lean back. Try and keep the hips over the knees if you can. Inhale, lift through your heart. Exhale as you arch back, so there's a lifting motion. If you don't have any neck issues, you can drop the head back here. Keep drawing the shoulders together to open through the heart. Use your legs. Then inhale, lift back up, everything squeezes together. Exhale back down to your heels. Then bring the knees right in together, find a traditional child's pose. Back of the palms down, forehead touches onto the mat. Fill the belly up, feel it press into your legs. And exhale, let it go. And then coming back up to hands and knees, and then just slide yourself down into prone position. So come to lay down on your bellies. And we're going to take the hands down beside the body, and we're going to come into some locust poses. So starting to awaken the posterior chain of the body. So some days we can go a full day without even activating our glutes. So let's try and really reverse some of that now. Press down into the tops of your feet. Engage your knees, engage your thighs, engage your core, and inhale, start to lift the head, lift the chest, lift the hands up. If it serves you and it feels good, float the legs as well. Pointing through the toes, feet don't come out more than hip width distance. 5 big breaths here. Natural curve of the spine and the neck. Last one. And bring it back down. Place one cheek onto the floor. And just breathe here. And then coming back for our second one, this time we're going to take the hands out in front. So they're coming out at an angle here. And we're going to take an inhale, reach the right arm and lift the left leg up. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, left arm lifts, right leg. Exhale, lower them down. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Feel the squeeze in your glutes in the back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, lower. One more time either side. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, down. Bring your hands down to your lowest ribs. Inhale, arch back, find your cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finding your downward facing dog. And take your hands out a little wider than your shoulders. Come up high on your tippy toes, bend your knees and try and hop between your hands and come to sit down. Here we're going to do some nice gentle stretches. Bring your left foot into your right thigh. Turn your right toes up in towards you and we're going to find a side body stretch here. So what you want to do is you want to lean out sideways, trying to open your left side waist. Reach for your right foot. If you can't touch it, that's okay. If you want to lift your left arm up, you can reach all the way. Full version is here. Otherwise, you can just place your left hand open to your side. And just enjoy this stretch down this muscle called the quadratus lumborum. And this is a deep spine muscle that doesn't get stretched or moved so much in this way. Now that we're nice and warm, we should be able to get in there quite deeply. So just take a few breaths here, really opening up. And then come back up. And then just change your legs over, left leg out, right foot inside left thigh, left arm reaches, right arm can either come up and over, or you can place your right palm to the back of your head and think of opening your shoulder, like you're trying to sit your 2 shoulder blades up against a wall behind you. So there's a real opening through the front that's going to lengthen down the right side. Inhale, come back up, release that, and then take your left foot in again. This time right leg straight out in front of you for Janu Shirshasana stretch. Feel free to move the fleshy parts of your seat away from you if you like. Flex the right toes towards the sky and take an inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, lean forward. And then just start to fold over your leg. Wherever you land is perfectly okay. Think length with your spine rather than creating a hunch in the back. So rather than trying to get your head towards your knee, think reaching the chest out towards your toes. 3 more breaths. Inhale, come back up. And release. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. You're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, lean forward. Chest out over the toes. then inhale, lifting back up. And then we're going to just gently transition to lay down onto our backs. Almost at the end here. Start to bend the knees. Take the arms out wide to a T shape. Lift the hips up and slightly set them over to the right. Place them back down and then take both your knees over to the left side. Now to make this more of a twist, you'll start to bring the knees closer to your left shoulder. To make this less intense, you'll soften the knees closer down towards the bottom of your mat. You can also turn your head to face your right hand and keep both your shoulder blades pressing into the ground here. Breathing deeply as we twist the spine for the last time in our practice. And inhale, knees come back up. Take the hips up and set them over to the left this time, about 2 inches, 1 or 2 inches. Drop the knees to the right, turn the gaze to the left. Shoulder blades both rest on the floor and settle in here. And then inhale, lift the knees back up. Slide the hips back to center and then hug the knees into the chest. And take the knees out wider than the chest. Bring the soles of the feet to the sky and reach for the outer edges of your feet. Feel free to sway side to side for a cheeky massage from the floor. And one more breath in, happy baby. And then bring your feet together, bring your knees together, hug into the chest again. Inhale, lift the head up and make a tight little ball, squeeze tight. And then as you exhale, find your Shavasana. Now we've got just a couple minutes here today. If you'd like to take a seated meditation, you can sit upright and do that. Otherwise, settling in for our Shavasana. If you'd like to take a longer Shavasana, feel free to pause the video now and come out of it whenever you choose. Start to deepen the breath. If you're laying down, gently roll yourself to one side. Slowly lift to a seated position. Gently bringing your hands to prayer pose in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Out of the mouth, exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale, release. Namaste. If you'd like to join me here, we've got a beautiful retreat on next May. I'd love to see you all at the island someday. Thank you, stay safe.